It is probably every child's dream to visit a chocolate factory, and even as adults, we don't mind treating ourselves to delicious cakes, candies, or marmalade. Today, our film crew members fulfilled our childhood dream as we accessed one of the largest confectioneries in Kazakhstan. But first, let's go back to the history of the confectionery industry, which dates back centuries. However, it is not known exactly when the most popular sweet treats, which are candies, came into being. Referring to the records found during excavations in Egypt, historians assume that the ancient Egyptians, mixing honey, nuts, and dates, were the first to invent candies. In the Eastern Mediterranean and the Middle East during the Crusades, fruit juice was evaporated in the sun until thickened, thereby marmalade was obtained. The confectionery business received a dynamic development in the 15th century in Italy, and with the advent of affordable sugar at the markets in Europe, fruit candies were first made in the 16th century. However, it was the Arabs who first began cooking sugar to obtain a viscose, cloying mass. In the 18th century, the Frenchmen started making marmalade from quinces, apricots, and apples, and the very first chocolate was made in Mexico. Not many people know that we owe the emergence of the chocolate beloved by the mankind to the ancient tribes of the Aztecs and Mayans. They grounded cocoa fruits mixed with wine and added spicy herbs. It was a beverage. In this form, chocolate was consumed until the mid-19th century, and only then a scientist from Netherlands, Conrad van Houten, came up with a press that squeezed butter from cocoa beans and made a full-fledged chocolate bar. What can we say about the production of sweets in our country? According to the reference information, the first confectionery production was arranged on the premises of the distillery, using the equipment evacuated during the war in the autumn of 1941 from Moscow and Kharkiv. And in January 1942, the first 50 tons of products were made. Thus, during the hardships of the Second World War, the confectionery industry was established in Kazakhstan. I would like to note that confectionery production is part of a large cluster of agricultural processing of our raw products. In particular, farmers produce wheat, millers make flour from wheat, and we make cookies from flour. Accordingly, the added value to the agricultural product increases significantly and thereby provides a large number of jobs. At first, the production capacity was modest, at about 900 tons per year, but after 1944 the factory began producing up to 2,400 tons of products per year. Now, according to the Association of Confectioners of Kazakhstan, 160 to 180,000 tons of sugar and chocolate products are produced annually in the country, while the volume of consumption is about 350,000 tons per year. Thus, the share of domestic sweets accounts for less than half of the total volume of sweets and chocolate eaten in Kazakhstan, while imports account for 52%. In fact, the capacity of confectionery factories located in Kazakhstan is sufficient to cover 100% of the demand in Kazakhstan. Let's get back to our production. The confectionery industry includes two groups of manufacturing facilities, such as the production of sugary and flour confectionery products. These groups in turn consist of a number of industries, such as the production of caramel, candies, chocolate, waffles, cookies, etc. Despite all the variety at the confectionery market, cookies are considered to be some of the most popular and harmless treats. Each manufacturer uses its own production technology. However, the main components are sugar, flour, as well as dairy and egg products. The production method is not particularly complicated and includes several stages, such as preparation of ingredients. At this stage, the bulk materials of the blend, such as flour, starch, and salt, are sifted, fats are melted, and sugar is grounded into powdered sugar. Next, the exact dosing and weighing of all ingredients takes place. Manufacture of invert syrup. This syrup is obtained by mixing equal equal parts of glucose and fructose. Mixing of ingredients. The mixing order is of particular importance. Separately, powdered sugar, salt, water, eggs, and invert syrup are mixed. In another container, margarine and baking powder for the dough are mixed. Afterwards, both emulsions are mixed together. The actual making of the dough. The resulting emulsion is mixed with bulk materials such as flour, starch, and flavorings. Other additives are possible if they are specified in the recipe. The molding process. During the stage, the future products are given shape. The dough pieces move along the conveyor belt, then they are rolled out evenly and a special press squeezes cookies out of the dough, but it's still raw. The baking process. During baking, it is important to observe the temperature regime and the baking time. The cookies continue their journey for a few minutes, but already in the oven. This process is hidden from human eyes, but very soon it will be possible to see the finished result. Cooling. Proper cooling is necessary for the cookies to have a longer shelf life and not crumble. Packaging. The factory employees take the finished cookies straight from the tape and into the boxes in order to send them to stores later. Waffles are produced next to the cookies. These flour confectionery products are thin-baked sheets, layered with filling or without any. Waffle sheets have a specific property of making a crunch when bitten. This is due to the low moisture content, the rough checkered surface, and the finely porous internal structure of the sheets. Waffle sheets are an integral part of waffles, cakes, waffle-based candies, and other products. For the layering of waffles, fat, praline, fruit, fondant, and other fillings are used. The largest number of waffles are made with fat fillings, as it is a homogeneous, large, and well-whipped mass. The recipe for the fat filling includes fat, powdered sugar, lesser thin, crushed waffle trimmings, flavorings such as essences and citric acid, as well as dyes. Currently, for the production of waffles, manufacturing lines are used whereby uninterrupted processes of waffle sheets, baking, spreading, and cutting is performed along with the batch making of waffle dough and fat fillings. Methods and equipment for the continuous preparation of waffle dough and fat fillings have also been developed. Now let's talk about sugary products. Caramel is one of such confectionery products. It is a type of sweets with a high sugar content. Molasses as well as fruit and berry fillings are used in the production of caramel. It is available both without fillings, such as lollipops, and with fillings. For small businesses, the production of lollipop types of caramel is of particular interest, which does not require complex equipment but makes it possible, using various molds for finished products, flavors and dyes to create unique products. Caramel mass is prepared by boiling of sugar syrup. Molasses, or invert, is used as an anti-crystallizer. The finished caramel mass is cooled, then dyes, acids, and aromatic essences are added to it, after which it is crushed for an even distribution of additives and delivered to a rolling machine to form a caramel loaf. When making filled caramel candies, the filling is put into the caramel loaf. The caramel rope coming out of the machine with the filling inside or without it passes through the taffy pulling machine, which pulls and calibrates it to the desired diameter. In the molding machine, the rope is molded and cut into individual products. Afterwards, the caramel is cooled, pre-packed, and packed. The movement of tens of thousands of candies can be watched endlessly. Caramel candies were extremely popular in Soviet times. Currently, these sweets varieties are far less popular than, for example, chocolate and various products made from it. Such popularity of chocolate products is quite understandable, as according to many scientists, this type of sweets is an unmistakable catalyst of happiness. The production of chocolate began in Europe, more precisely in Brussels, and oddly enough, in a pharmacy. A man named John Neuhaus wanted to make a cough medicine, but produced chocolate candies. Today, a variety of raw products are used in the production of candies. Modern technologies allow achieving excellent quality of products and significantly speed up the making process. The production method depends on the type and variety of the candies. However, for all candies, the following general stages of production are inherent. At the first stage, the ingredients of the fondant mass are mixed. Further, the resulting blend is formed and shaped with special molds. At the following stage, the molds with the fondant mass go through the cooling system. Then glazing takes place. The final stage is the packaging of products. Equipment plays a significant part in this process because the use of modern high-tech machines will substantially simplify and speed up the making of chocolates. Tempering machines provide heating and cooling of the mass to the desired temperatures. The device is fully automated and allows achieving the desired characteristics depending on the type of raw products. Today, our domestic products are in demand worldwide. Our confectionery products are exported to Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan and Russia, and since 2011 the sweets are being delivered to Mongolia and China.
Если брать основной экспорт, это, конечно же, приграничная Российская
The bulk of our exports is certainly attributed to the border areas. About 70% of our products are exported to the Russian Federation. Then there are Central Asian countries such as Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan and Turkmenistan. We also sell our products to Azerbaijan, Ukraine and Belarus. Our products are shipped to China as well. Confectionery production is not the most popular industry in our country and has many pitfalls. The manufacturers have to monitor the technology, meet the GOST standards, and follow sanitary regulations. The products should always be fresh. Meanwhile, confectionery products, like many others, should be consumed in moderation. Excesses may be acceptable, but can be dangerous. The human brain is the main consumer of the energy in the form of glucose. If there's a lack of it, a signal is received that the so-called fuel is running out and a new portion is needed. But yet, excessive consumption of sweets is not very beneficial for health, scientists warn. Sugar may help improve mood because it promotes the production of serotonin, the hormone of happiness. But it still should be consumed with caution. The reason is that an emotional outburst after eating sweets leads to an increase in insulin levels as the body tries to lower blood sugar levels to normal. This situation can cause so-called sugar addiction. The desire to lead a healthy lifestyle and consume healthy foods has caused the need for sweets containing sugar substitutes, which even diabetic patients can enjoy. Meanwhile, scientific developments have already given people such an opportunity.
Действительно, кондитерские изделия Казахстана очень востребованы. В первую очередь, это, конечно же, наш знаменитый шоколад. И наш шоколад стал уже визитной.
Indeed, confectionery products made in Kazakhstan are in great demand. First of all, of course, it is our famous chocolate. Our chocolate has already become the hallmark of our country. In particular, the color of our flag and the map of our independent Kazakhstan are depicted on our Kazakhstan chocolate. As for the success of our products, we are constantly evolving. We pass on our experience from generation to generation. Next year, we are celebrating the 50th anniversary. And of course, we choose the principle of evolution, not revolution. We pass that invaluable experience from generation to generation. Confectionery production does not stand still and is being modernized accordingly. Annually, we purchase new modern European equipment and therefore today the wear degree of confectionery equipment is less than 20%. And in order to stay afloat and to be competitive in this market, we must produce new high-quality, high-demand products.
Тенденции меняются, новое поколение появляются новые вкусы, новые технологии. И это дает нам возможность быть конкурентными не только на нашем внутреннем рынке, но и на рынке экспорта.
Unfortunately, the situation with sugar in Kazakhstan is not developing in favor of domestic producers. According to statistics, today sugar made in Russia and Belarus is widely represented on the territory of Kazakhstan. Its share in the country's consumption exceeds the share of Kazakh producers and is about 60%. Hence, the dependence on the price set by the manufacturing companies increases. Any fluctuation in sugar prices in neighboring countries is reflected on our market. We all remember the 2022 sugar shortage when the sweet product first rose significantly in price and then completely disappeared from the shelves for some time. And this is just at the moment when people were busy making jams for the winter. According to experts, in 2022, raw sugar and white sugar became very expensive as the prices increased on a global scale. Raw sugar is purchased in Brazil. Its value is influenced by the dollar exchange rate and stock quotes, according to which, from January to May, the prices grew steadily. In addition, the cost of transporting raw materials through Russia to Kazakhstan increased by 15%. According to producers, the increased gas prices in the Jambal region affects the cost of sugar production, as its share in the production costs is about 60%. Railway transportation within Kazakhstan and all related materials necessary for the production have also become more expensive. The fuel oil used by the Aksu sugar factory has grown significantly in price recently, and it accounts for 15 to 20% of the cost price. Speaking about the current measures of boosting sugar production in the country, the officials of the Kazakh Ministry of Agriculture stated that the immediate and dramatic increase in the area of sugar beet is not possible, as this requires special equipment and everything should be systematically increased. However, Agriculture Minister Yerbol Karashukeyev informed that according to a plan, up to 80% of domestic sugar demand would be covered by local producers by the end of 2025. Today there is an abundance of healthy sweets on the market, such as granola bars or blends of dried fruits and nuts, which are an excellent alternative to conventional sweets. These are so-called healthy sweets that do not harm the health, while bringing no less pleasure. Interestingly enough, honey and fruits are not able to serve as a full substitute of sugar. Even doctors have recently recommended eating sugar since, in their opinion, it nourishes the brain better than other products. Within reasonable limits, it is a valuable source of glucose and energy beneficial for our health. Meanwhile, the manufacturers recommended the ministry to take their feedback into consideration when planning work. There are quite some aspects that require attention and a systematic approach. This will definitely benefit the entire industry and give a multiplicative effect.
Кондитерское производство является участником процесса сельхозпереработки сырья.
Confectionery production is part of the agricultural processing of raw materials, thus we work under the program of the Kazakh Ministry of Agriculture. I would like to note that the existing state support programs should be transparent, understandable and long-term. Because oftentimes, every year, these rules change, and when creating some financial models for a particular project, we constantly have to make adjustments. Programs change every year. There are investment subsidy programs and interest rate reimbursement programs, and commonly we cannot receive those legally promised subsidies for years. This certainly causes difficulties in our work. Therefore, I repeat once again, I would like to have long-term clear rules of the game regarding the relationship between the state and business. Currently, the confectionery facilities in Kazakhstan are not 100% operational. You know what cataclysms have happened in recent years. The COVID-19 pandemic as well as the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, such geopolitical changes certainly affect us. Also, constant fluctuations in the tenge exchange rate against, for instance, the Russian ruble influences both the range of products and output. As of today, we are not 100% operational. But there is also another issue. The range of products shifts depending on the season. Of course, we have a long-term development strategy, but with changes in geopolitics and the economic situation, we are constantly making some adjustments to the development strategy. We are constantly monitoring the situation both in terms of raw materials and currency risks, and we are always ready to resist and compete in this market. Therefore, we see the future of our confectionery factory as a modern, developed production facility that can provide jobs not only for the confectionery industry, but also for the accompanying ones, such as the production of fats, oils, corrugated packaging, labels, as well as agricultural production of wheat and flour, and therefore by developing the confectionery industry, we can develop related production industries and provide new jobs for highly qualified specialists with high salary.
Можем развить и сопутствующее производство и обеспечить новыми рабочими местами именно высококвалифицированных специалистов с высокой заработной платой.
Thus, it turns out that everything is beneficial, but only if in moderation. No bakery or sweets should be overindulged. Therefore, enjoy your meal. Let it be delicious for you, especially if it's made in Kazakhstan.